Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Cosmiccast Podcast. In this episode, I'm pretty much here to tell you my story and where I come from. Um, the way I grew up, I grew up in a poor family. My mom, she was a single mother working at this restaurant called Foster Grill. So, she could hardly barely afford, to get us like Christmas gifts and stuff because, the money she was making. But at the time, we lived in these hood apartments. At the time, the apartments was called Duke Street. It's now renamed Marcella Street. But during that time frame, we used to hear like gunshots in the middle of the night. It was like really hood back then. People doing drugs, sitting outside on your porch all kinds of the night. Also, I remember at nighttime, you turn the lights off and, you turn them on and go to the kitchen, it would be like roaches, like literally crawling. And that was pretty much how those apartments was, they didn't really put like a lot of time and care into them back then. Um, I remember a friend of my mother's, her and her husband, they ended up buying me and my sister and brother like presents like for Christmas. So I had got like my first Game Boy, which was like the original Game Boy, which did not have any color. But I was very grateful for what they done for us because looking back on it, I was like you know that was like really nice of them, and you know helping people, it's really nice to help folks. And that's why I help folks now, because you may never know what folks are going through. You may never know their background. And helping folks, brings out a positive side of people. So that's why I focus on helping as many people as I can. um Anyways, you know um I never really looked at the whole YouTube thing here. I never really look at it as a career or anything like that, because it's not a career. I don't make money for it now, but I am grateful to those who show love and support to my channel, because like without you guys showing the love and support and care, uh, I wouldn't have 1,000 subscribers that I have now. So for me, a person from my background, coming, growing up, and being able to do this, what I'm doing, I'm definitely grateful and thankful for to be able to do so, because, like I said, I worked several 9 to 5 jobs, which I still do, and I also try to like work, also some side hustle jobs here and there, but the first 9 to 5 job I worked, I remember it was the Salvation Army, and it was like during the holidays as a bell ringer, and so of course, it didn't pay much. I think I was I was about in 11th grade when I started doing that around the Christmas time holiday. So it was right before I was heading to my senior year in high school, and it was real cold outside. Being a bell ringer, but um, I remember the pay was like $6.25 an hour, which wasn't bad, at the time. Plus, I was still in school, mind you, so you know, the money, was pretty good here and there, and I did use it to get my first cell phone, which was a Virgin Mobile cell phone, which it didn't have a camera to it at the time, but I ended up getting that. I think that was like maybe $29 at the time, which wasn't too bad at the time. Um, but after that, I ended up working at the high school. I ended up working at this factory job called Quality Associates, where Quality Associates would deal with a lot of products, like from like Olay, Dove body soap, Gillette razors, and they didn't pay like too good. They paid like maybe $6.75 an hour during that time frame, and mind you, they want you to work, all these hours in which, you know, um, I remember when I started, like I wasn't on a core team at first, and then this lady she put me on a core team without even asking me, and she put me on a core team, it still didn't bring in higher pay. So um, that right there, it was also still a struggle. From there, I went to retail store. I got hired there at the Kmart. At the time frame, it was called you know Kmart during the time frame. Then you know went from Kmart to Big Kmart, and I went in there making at least $7.25 an hour. And I remember learning how to do all the departments like really quickly. Like I learned sporting goods. I learned the toy department. I learned the grocery area. I also learned several different other departments they had, like garden, um, and whatever it was. I was up for the challenge to learn it, and and I was making $7.25 an hour, which it didn't add to much. It only added to probably about at least half the time, probably um, about $200 every 2 weeks. But which wasn't enough to like barely even afford anything. But it was better than the previous jobs I had. So I enjoyed being there for the time that I was there. I stayed there for about at least 3 years. I stayed there, and I did retail for that long, for 3 plus years. And because I like to stay at a job to at least gain the knowledge and experience that's needed to do the job to my abilities, and in case I need to like use those tools down the line, because you may never know when you might have to use those tools down the line. And it was fun like pricing stuff, and seeing all the different products that would come in. I would get to see like all the like new toys that came in before it was even like released. So before its release date, I would get to see it. But we would have to keep it in the back, and we couldn't put it out on the floor because it had not yet been ready for release. Um, I eventually went from doing that to getting this cleaning job. I uh, worked I worked with this Hispanic lady, which she introduced me to this cleaning job that she was doing, and it paid like a little bit way more than what Kmart was even paying me. This clean job was called diversified maintenance, and they was paying at least like $8 an hour. So I went from 7.25 to $8 an hour, which was way more than I had even thought about making, and that was good because doing that, I made at least about $300 like every 2 weeks, and it wasn't bad because like the hours, it wasn't as long as Kmart. The hours was at least I'd say about from 7 to 4. That was the hours, so it wasn't bad. Um, Depending, and and sometimes I definitely get overtime. The overtime pay was like really good, and I did that for maybe about a year and a half before I went and got my next job. So my next journey led me from there with that experience, the cleaning experience and stuff that I had doing floors and stuff. Um, maintenance pretty much. That led me to the hospital job that I had gotten. And the hospital job, that is a whole different like scenario because you got to learn so much there. I came into that job making the highest I ever made. Started off making $10 an hour, and over the years I stayed there, I went from $10 an hour to making $11 an hour, which was the most I ever made an hour because here it is, coming to this job, learning how to do it. We would pretty much like log into the computer, and then they would pay us for a room. So anytime a patient was discharged, we would have to go in there and clean that room, and also we would have to like log into this machine. And if we had to, after we cleaned the room, we had to zap the room of all the germs. So the ultraviolet light, from the machine, we would have to step outside the room while it zapped the light, while it zapped the whole room. So, because if you was in there, with the ultraviolet light, that thing would blind you. So you wouldn't want to be in there when that was happening. But also, we also had to take down like the curtains and put up new curtains. That way, um, everything would be thoroughly sanitized by the time like the person get a room. And then we would also have to like clean bathrooms and stuff on like uh, several different floors, like the first floor, the second floor, third floor, or the fourth floor. So that was pretty much like our routine thing. And I worked like the hours I worked was like 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night, which was the pretty much the long shift. And then I went from that shift to working, which third I started working third shift, and third shift that was like from 8 to like 7 in the morning. So you know it was a pretty long shift, but the money was like the money I was making was really good because I remember like working that job. I had made my first like $10,000 make working that job, and $10,000 was like the most I had ever seen because the most I had seen at Kmart was when I had worked overnight the third shift because they needed somebody to clean under the like the area where the dog stuff was at. I had to take like the panels off underneath the thing that the dog food was sitting on, the shelves. So I had to clean under the shelves and a bunch of rat turds, and I did that I think for maybe like a week or so, a week or two, and I would do it overnight, and I made at least about $900 from that, and that was like the highest amount I had seen when I was working at Kmart was $900, and just by doing that. And I was grateful, to see that. So God has blessed me in so many ways. I have come a really long way, and I'm definitely grateful for what I do, and I take them for granted. Because I wouldn't be where I am today without God leading me, to these paths. So my path is definitely helping others and helping folks. So I realize that's what I'm good at doing. I enjoy helping other people figure out things. I also enjoy entertaining people. As a matter of fact, I do voice impressions and I entertain folks with that on my channel because I got into voice impressions back when I was younger. Back when I lived in the hood apartments, Duke Street, I told you about, and back when I was living in the apartments after that. Um, I grew up, like with Batman, the Looney Tunes, Beetleborgs, Power Rangers. I also grew up with Pokemon, like Star Trek, like several things, Star Wars. It's a lot that I grew up with. Ninja Turtles. I just grew up with a lot of things. So that's what, pretty much led me into, getting into voice acting and voiceover and, doing voice impressions is from the time I was, young because that stuff, having that stuff, when you're younger and you're living in like a bad, area, it helps you, stay positive. So, that definitely helped me stay positive because, Batman, Power Rangers, and Turtles, I felt like I was protected and safe. So, that was a good outlet to have back then. And, I definitely enjoyed like learning, like looking at, various videos and, of how to like do voiceover and voice impressions and that's one reason why I enjoy doing it because I have fun doing it and I enjoy working on different projects for it. Voice acting, it's like a really big part of my life. So yeah, it's been there for years. It's been there for a long time. It's not like something I just got into. Like I've been doing it for years. Because I even, like I said, started off gaming when I was young. So when I was a kid, gaming was also a part of my life. Video games and voiceover. For the video games, my first video game system was uh, an original Nintendo. So that should tell you a lot right there. So because we would play like Super Mario and also, we would play Sonic. So Sega, that was my second, console. Because we would play that too. Mortal Kombat, I had all that stuff like to keep me entertained while growing up. And that stuff, a lot of stuff is still around till to this day. But yeah, I definitely, enjoy, like just learning different things, learning all that different stuff has helped me, you know, come this far today. And I am definitely grateful that you guys, you watch the games, you listen to the voice impressions and the voiceover stuff, because, I didn't start taking voice acting and voiceover seriously until like probably 2021 is when I got back into it. I got back into doing the voiceovers and voice impression stuff during 2021. So like shortly after the pandemic, I got back into it, which I'm glad I did get back into it because doing the voiceover stuff, that has made me, happy to entertain others and also do it along with others. That's how I met like friends through gaming and voice impressions and voiceovers. So I'm proud that I met several different people, and if it ends up turning into a career or something, or it ends up being like a career on YouTube, then hey, I'd definitely be happy if it does, because I enjoy doing it. It's what I love doing. I love you know providing people with entertainment and stuff. So that's definitely gonna be like my main focus is the video games and the voiceover on my channel, um, because it's something that uh, I didn't just get into. Like obviously for anybody, if you're looking to do voiceover or voice impressions, just pick up a cell phone like how I'm doing now. Pick up a cell phone and start talking and start practicing because that's what I did. I just picked up my cell phone one day and clicked on the voice recorder app, and then I was on my way. So yeah, so that's the best advice that I can give, and I appreciate you guys listening and taking the time. I know this video, it's been long, 20 minutes of me, talking and rambling and ranting, but I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys can get some positive feedback out of this. And I will see you guys in the next episode. See you later.